I just want to say Sherry, um, Sheila, and Amy are not with us in the flesh, but they'll be with us later through video. I just like to I just like to hold space for those of us who aren't with us because we are together in spirit. But there are, what I was referring to talking about with my students last weekend who were newbies, they were just like there for this outdoor conference, and I got to be there as a keynote for movement. And to describe in kind of elementary terms this antagonistic and synergistic body system to them, these would be, in this case, these would be synergists and antagonists are really just the groups, right? But one is in synergy with one another, and then the other is an antagonist with the other. So whenever we think about the patterns, physical patterns, we're talking about first, right? Because then it'll work its way through spiritual patterns, right? Emotional patterns. But whenever we're thinking about the physical patterns, these would be synergistic. My pectoralis muscles, my psoas muscles, my oblique muscles, right? The scalenes muscles, sternocleidomastoid, all of these would be in synergy with each other, right? And so what would be the antagonists would be these upper back muscles. So it would be like my quadratus lumborum, my rhomboids, levator scapula, all of these guys, teres minor, teres major, would be antagonistic with one another. So that means that they're kind of fighting to hang on. That's another way of thinking about it too. They're kind of fighting just to hang on, while these are like, hey, let's go, these are in a clique, right? And these are like, oh, can I be friends? Yeah. And that always feels awful. So whenever we're thinking about reversing the patterns, it's like, okay, what is synergistic with one another? And then what are the antagonists that might be actually causing me pain? Okay. Um, so we'll work through that today. And I did describe a little bit more of the primal movement. And so I want us to get into our primal movement, moving around in whatever feels good and right. And we'll have a time for that. There is one thing that I wanted to just read to you that's from the Yoga Sutras that has to do with the patterns, not in that negative way. Melinda, are you here? I saw you come in. Yeah, there you are. Yoga says instinct is a trace of an old experience that has been repeated many times, and the impressions have sunk down to the bottom of the mental lake. Although they go down, they aren't completely erased. So mind you, y'all, this is in regard to us doing something over and over again. And I'm hoping that it'll resonate with us all in the ways of doing and being in practice. Any kind of practice, but something that is soul food. Okay. Don't think you ever forget anything. All experiences are stored in the chittam, and when the proper atmosphere is created, they come to the surface again. When we do something several times, it forms a habit. Continue with that habit for a long time, and it becomes your character. Continue with that character, and eventually, perhaps in another life, it comes up as an instinct. And I bet we can all really feel that instinct naturally. It's like, wow, I'm so dynamic in this way. How does that even happen for me, right? And then all of a sudden, it's perhaps a previous life. So here we grow. Let us come to our seat and let these words continue to resonate. And I'm going to try to get you all back on the screen again. Somehow I lost myself, but or lost y'all. I'm seeing you on the screen up here. We'll start in our comfortable seat and begin flexing and extending your spine. Okay. Remember, whenever you're inhaling, you're opening your body. Whenever you're exhaling, you're closing your body. So again, whenever you're inhaling, you're expansive. Your body needs that expansion to grow, to bring the breath in. Whenever you exhale, you're closing off. Think about your diaphragm here. Whenever you're moving through your breathing practice, also think about the bandhas. So inhaling Mula Bandha, exhaling Uddiyana Bandha navel lock. Inhaling perineum, hug, exhaling navel hug. Let the shoulders start to hang further and further away from your ears. Hi, Anna Jane. And keep going. Start to hear the depth of your breathing. Whenever you're inhaling, think about hugging the rhomboids, opening the pecs. Whenever you exhale, think about engaging, literally engaging your abdomen, your core. 3 more. We can also kind of put this practice, this movement in that primal category, right? Because we can really get juicy in this one, kind of float away from the mind. Great, and then come back to your center. Switch the crossings of your legs. We're just moving through these traditional openers. We're going to cross the right shoulder out in front, the right shoulder out in front of the left knee. That's the exhale. Inhale up and exhale cross. Again, in the service of primal movement, see if you can really just kind of rock back up, feel it in your body, and then switch to the other side. If you're not muted, please mute yourself. I hope that you can hear some of those bones kind of rotating and moving around. Lining themselves up. 3 more times each side. Intentional when you rotate your face to the opposite side. Whenever we're kind of closing in on the torso, we want to do that via engagement of the abdominal muscles. Last one here, we'll go left shoulder in front of the right knee and then end right shoulder out in front of the left knee and back up to your center. Grab a hold of your shoulders with your hands. We're going to go 30 rounds with this one. You know how we typically do 10? We're going 30 today. When you sweep down with your elbows, really think about lengthening out here through the traps, okay? So here we go. I want you to think of yourself as just flying here. Maybe fast, maybe slow, but here we go and here we grow. Continue to breathe as you move through this motion. Really thinking about letting go of all of the stressors in and around, up in your shoulders, any stressors in your head, in your neck. Releasing the tension from tendon to bone, from tendon to muscle, from belly and muscle. 3, 2, 1, and release. Close your eyes and just notice. Ujjayi breath, tip edge of your tongue to the roof of your mouth, behind your top teeth, and breathe. Crown head over tailbone, nape of the neck back, and breathe. The belly swells on your inhale and deflates on your exhale, and breathe. 2 more. Last one. We're going to extend the right leg out to the side, move your buttock flesh backwards. So we're moving into Parivrtta Janusirsasana. This is pretty new for us, right? It's new, like we haven't done it in a long time together. And so we're going to go a little slower than usual as we sink down your right leg here, left hand on your waist, inhale, open the chest. And at first we're still going to flow. So I want you to just feel the opening here. Every time we do it, we're going to gain a little bit more space. Think about bringing your bottom right ribs forward and your left ribs back. Now go ahead and raise your left arm up and rotate the wrist around, that upper arm, wrist rolls around. 3, 2, 1, and switch. 5, 4, 3. So we're thinking about getting these muscles of the forearm really juiced up. So where they might be tight and a little dry around the bone, we're juicing them up. Hand onto your waist, inhale and come up slowly. Your left hand moves a little bit behind you. We're going to move into kickstand where you raise your right arm up and over your ear in the sweeping motion. Really think about pushing the pelvis forward here, hugging the buttocks, coming into a little bit of a lordotic spine. And then exhale, lower the hips down and back. Sweep in. Y'all know this flow. Sweep into Parivrtta Janusirsasana. Anything now with your left arm. Maybe it's up again. Maybe it sweeps over your left ear. Look up. Bottom ribs forward, top ribs back. We don't just come straight up, hand onto the waist, inhale and slow and easy, bring it up. Yep, go right back into your kickstand. We've got one more after this. Now you're starting to find like, okay, my body's open. I'm able to move a little bit more primally, a little bit more animalistically through my body. Just make sure all of your joints are happy and that your muscles are engaged around your joints. That's how we don't get into injury. Lower the hips down and back. And then last round here, we're safe for 5. You find your potion, you find your motion that feels like good medicine in your body. Hand onto the waist, inhale, maybe look down at the floor to help you come back up slow and steady. And then hand down by your side, but out and behind you in primal movement. Move into your kickstand. Maybe a little bit higher. Perhaps your right foot wants to come in a little bit just so you can get deeper, deeper, deeper into more of a bridge or back bend. One more deep breath. Exhale and lower down. Good. So the right leg's going to come in. We're moving into Martiasana. So we're going to grab a hold of the left leg and now twist and turn to the left. 10. Really churn at the abdomen. Really churn in the belly. 9. Deep Ujjayi breathing. 7. Keep breathing. 4. Keep breathing. 'Last one here. Twist it a little bit further. Look over your right shoulder and then turn and twist to your right side. We've done this a few times now, 3 times in a row. So we're going to move that foot out to the side. Keep turning and twisting to your right. Keep turning and twisting and maybe take a bow. We're in this sattvic space. So I want you to go in, really hear and feel your breathing, turning and twisting to the left. Maybe one elbow comes down. Wherever you are, allow your head to kind of hang down here. Really stretching the back of the skull and the middle upper back. In an intentional way, it's different than when you're looking down at your phone or looking down at your clients or your patients. Some of you are really doing body work and our work is looking down. This one is intentional, so really go in there and feel like, oh, with intentionality, like, ooh, there's that interesting spot. Okay, now prop yourself up, hands underneath you. We're going to lift the hip up. Notice if your right foot needs to kind of move. Is that your right foot? Your left foot needs to move out a little bit. And then you're going to pump here at the heart. This is going to feel like push-ups, but see if you can make it feel more like I'm just bringing a lot of blood flow to my heart. I'm building strength, yes, but I'm really encouraging a lot of energy into my heart center, around my head, my throat, my heart, my upper abdomen. Awakening that heart energy. 3 more. 3, 2, 1, and then come down. In our yoga practice, we want to sometimes feel a little bit of exhaustion. I want you to see if you can go into fire log pose. Some of you that is just super easy for you. Some of you not so easy. If it's not so easy for you, just play in that balance. Maybe your hands are behind you and you're feeling that lateral iliotibial band open up. Others of us, we're stacking our shins, stacking the feet, or flexing the feet rather, and then exhale, moving into your forward fold here. 10. Shoulders are out of the ears, neck is long. Breathe. Whatever position that you're in, it is perfect. And you are feeling more than those of us who can actually get down all the way down to the floor. We're trying hard to feel something. So you just maintain where you are and stay with the breath, every single one of us. Last breath here. Inhale and lift your face and heart. Both feet are now going to come onto the floor. Fingertips point in toward your buttocks. Inhale and lift the hips. Notice if you need to walk your hands back or need to walk your hands in a bit. We're going to tricep dips. So everything you just did with your biceps, we're going to reverse that and activate the backs of the arms. And just keep pumping. Again, bringing energy to the heart. Pelvis is up, big toes are down. You're just micro bending and then straightening through the arms. Here we go. Keep going. 10, 9. Claw down through your finger pads, y'all. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drive it up. Can you push your pelvis up more, your head back more, your knees and crown head in opposition? And release. That's it. Come down, sit down, roll out both of your wrists. Ujjayi breathing, switch the direction. And now extend the arms straight up and over your head like the shape of a V. And just hold it here. Start to pull the pubic bone up and the low ribs down without concaving in your chest, so the shoulders are still moving back. Same thing, the word opposition. It feels like your shoulders and your abdomen are moving in opposition. This is a state of optimism, of I can, of I am. Crown head over tailbone. One more deep breath. And release. Left leg out, right heel in. Take a little fold, get the buttocks back, flex the foot, and just feel it in there, right? And then start to lean down, And I don't know about you, this side feels like, ooh, to me. Right hand on your waist, inhale, turn and open the chest. We're just here for 3 breaths. So what my back of my hand is doing in my leg right now is this isometrically pressing. So my leg is pressing into the back of the hand into the leg to help me turn and rotate upward. I'm feeling more stretch through the inner adductors, through the hamstring, and then, of course, through this right side waist. 2, 1. Keep the hand on the waist. Inhale and come up. Root through the knee, the shin. Inhale, pelvis forward. Now, as your left arm moves up right now, just roll out this wrist. 5, 4. Hug the buttocks. 3. Let the head go a little bit more, and then switch direction of the wrist. And the final 2 will move primally. So send the buttocks back, come down, and start to find your sinking sensation as you move a little bit deeper on this side. Maybe raise the arm, maybe sweep the arm. Great. Hand onto the right waist. Remember, we always do that to look over after those vertebrae. Hand on the floor, a little behind you, little beside you, and kickstand. Go up. Feeling a little bit more primal freedom through your top arm. And sit the buttocks down, the hips move back and move right back in. Final 1 this time. See how far you can go internally. It's not about getting long and gushy in these postures. It's about the inside of you. Maybe you look down this time to hand on the waist to come all the way up. This is it. Final 1. We move into our side angle. This kickstand pose. Really hug the buttocks. Maybe even walk that left foot in a little bit so that you can get more like Urdhva Dhanurasana in this pose. More like a upward facing bow. Great. And then find your way and come down and sit down. And this time we're just going to move straight in to this right leg is on, the left leg is going to be on the ground. Right leg is up. We grab a hold of the right leg, turn and twist to your right. You're perched up on your fingertips, long in your spine, churn at the belly. Find yourself. So we've talked about the patterns. Try to find yourself right now. As you're in this posture, what else can you do? What else can you do with your body to line yourself up, to be aware of those moments? That's what it is. This is the state of awareness. That's what our practice is. It's just simply the state of awareness. I am aware in this moment. I am aware in this moment of what I need in this pose, in my chair, in my bed, in this posture, because I practice. Last breath. And then as you turn your head and face around, we're going to turn all the way around. Remember, we need to move this right foot a little bit outward so that we can rotate, 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 and get sattvic as you move downward. Here's where the breath can really flow. It's quite divine here. Really let the breath just flow in and out. See where, how deep can it go? How bright can it be? And then as you come up onto your hands, we'll inhale and elevate, root down through your shin. Notice what you might need to move, like the hands and the right foot, and then begin your pumping here at the heart. Try not to look in. If you look in, it causes less muscles to work. Let's see if we can really pull the crown of the head forward and just look down somewhere out in front of your fingers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Sit back down. So this time, instead of pausing in the middle, we're going to stack the shins up, come up onto your fingertips. So any compression that happened within your wrist, we're going to reverse that. So imagine that you're kind of trying to squeeze your fingertips together, but your sticky mat won't let you, or the floor won't let you. Loop the shoulders down and away from your ears. Remember, wherever you are is perfect. Wherever you are, upright, notice your pattern in your body, and then forward bend. You might be in a back bend trying to forward bend and it feels like it, and that's perfect. Just simply breathe, please. The habits that we create become us. Even if there are moments where we don't recognize, ooh, all that good work, or ooh, all that bad work, it disappeared, right? It's in there. So we can revert back to bad habits and we can revert back to good habits. We're forming habits right now. 2 more deep breaths. And bow a little bit deeper. And then as you inhale and come up, we're going to lay down on your back a little bit, but tuck your hands underneath your sacrum. So we support the sacrum here, kind of uncork the pelvis a little bit. Maybe your elbows need to splay outward, or maybe upright is really helpful for you. Regardless, we're not going to fold in the chest. We're elevated up through the chest. We're going to extend the left leg out, right leg up. So engage your core now as you switch. If you need to bend the knees instead of straighten legs, then feel free to do that. Lynn, did you have a question? You've got a hand up. You good? Question? Keep going, y'all. No? She's just a happy grandmom. Keep going. Lynn? Okay, keep going. 5. Chest is up. 4, bringing all that same heat you just brought into your heart, we're bringing it down into the creative aspect of the belly. 2, it's intense, right? 1, and then we switch that pattern. We switch that pattern by coming now into bridge. So head down, feet parallel, inhale and elevate up through the hips. Walk your arms a little bit underneath you and then bend the elbows. Y'all know this one. Big toes down, baby toes down, fingertips up and breathe. Chin out of the chest. 10. 9. It's easy to do this posture for 5 breaths, right? But not so easy to do this posture for 10. So we're breaking a pattern of all the forward bending that we've been doing, the sitting that we've been doing, the core work that you just did, equal amounts of time for a balanced being. Chin out of chest, hug a little bit like there's a magnetic pull between your inner thighs. 3, 2, really hug the buttocks, hug the inner thighs, drive the hips up, last breath. And lower the hips down. Grab a hold of your thighs as you lower down, just like right there at the crease of your buttocks and your thighs. Extend both legs one at a time, root down through your elbows and fish for 10. Point the toes, you're on the back of your head or crown head, but there's barely any pressure there. Y'all know that. Inhale and lift. Hug the shoulder blades, point the toes. I really want you to feel this in your mandible, this big long release around the jaw. If you get tired and you feel like I just can't sustain this without putting pressure in my neck, then come down. That's always the indication. When you start using your skeletal system to hold you up, you're tired. You need to take a rest until those muscles can repair and you can come back to using muscular strength. And the skeletal system is there to make sure you don't just fall into a puddle, but it's not there to hold you. Your muscles are there to do that. Really hug the upper body, sternum is up, chest is up, face is back, last breath. Good, lift the face, lift the heart, look down into your abdomen, reach the fingertips forward a little bit more core, lean back and tap the floor 50 times. Brighten your face. Keep the toes spreading. Look at those beautiful sturdy feet, those roots of your body. Keep going. A little faster, a little lower with the upper torso. Keep going. 25. Keep breathing. Maybe it feels like a little bit of breath of fire. That's great. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Release. Palms open like a mini Shavasana. Flood the rest of your body with all of that good, powerful, purified, cleansing blood. Let it leak down into your legs, into your feet, back up into your head and down your arms. Last bridge, both feet down and onto the floor. Now this time as you come up, we're going to dip a hip. So that means whenever we come up, we're going to drop the right hip and then come back up and drop the left. Keep going. Maybe tuck the arms underneath you. Keep going. So we're really working the pelvic rotation and mobility. Keep going. Try to keep your thighs parallel. One is going to swing out a little bit each time that you go hip down. But just see if you can feel that magnetic draw and pull of the legs toward each other. 10, 9, 8. Really building pelvic strength here. Getting these lower organs a little bit higher, elevated, a little tone upward instead of downward, right? Which just happens with age. Gravity happens with age. All right, and come on down. The buttocks are nice. Now, this time as you take your feet up off the floor, I want you to roll your both knees out and then together. So both feet up off the floor. We're going to give the sacrum a massage, but in a vertical way. So we go lateral and then back into center. Lateral and then back into center. I want you to feel from your tailbone to the lumbar vertebra, they're getting long and massaged. So the big toes stay together. We're making a big circle and then looping it back once the knees move forward. I hope that makes sense, right? Your low back has to come off the floor to do this, y'all, until the knees come back to the chest. That is the innate quality of your spine, and we need that. 3 more. 3, You're getting adduction work here. You're getting a lot of blood around the pelvis here, blood into the belly as we're massaging the sacrum. This is the last one. Great. And now roll to your side. Pick yourself up onto all fours. Hello, hello, hello. Spread your fingers, curl your toes, and downward facing dog. All of that energy and blood and all the fluids moving now up toward the heart. Stretch out your calf muscles, maybe bend one knee and then the other. We're going to be here for the next 5 breaths, so just play, but then get steady and breathe. Final 2, get steady and breathe. All right, you're at your final 2 breaths, so get really steady in the posture. Low ribs in and breathe. Step your right foot in between both of your hands and then turn toward me, please. Or just toward something of the camera. So as you move now, here we are in this, again, this primal movement, but it's going to be less about the yoga postures that you know. I'm going to ask you, and some of you remember this from previous classes, I'm just going to ask you to keep your feet where they are right now and just move the torso via moving your legs. Your arms are going to do different things, and we're just going to keep going for about 5 more full fluid breaths, pumping in the legs and your arms. What feels good? The feet are glued down though. 3, 2, 1, and then come all the way up to standing. Woo, right, shake it out, maybe a little dizziness here. Step to the very front edge of your sticky mat, raise your arms up over your head, a little bitty back bend here, root the big toes, exhale and forward fold. Inhale, get a little bit of a lift up and out of your heart, flat back. Exhale, step your right leg back. Warrior 2, right arm behind you. Warrior 2. Interlace your fingers behind your body, open your chest. Steady down through the big toes. And then bow inside of your left leg. Y'all know this one. 3. Arms over the back of your head. 2. 1. Release your right hand inside of your left foot. Right heel comes up. Raise your left arm and twist. Rotate. 3. 2. You're feeling the left leg hug in toward midline, in toward your center. Right heel really pushing back. Now stretch your left arm out and in front of your face, so side by side to your ear. 3. How long can you get from your right heel to your left fingertips? No clamping down or pressing down through your heel of your hand. And exhale, left hand down, left leg up, lift it up. 3. Breathe through your right hamstring. It's the first hamstring stretch we've really done. 2. Flip your dog. Now you have an option. You can lower onto your right knee and flip the left leg over, or you just go straight from your down dog, as y'all know, and flip your dog. 3, 2. Dynamic here in your body. 1. Left hand comes down. Step the left foot halfway forward here, and press the hips back for 3. Your left foot's just halfway in this kind of funky looking downward dog. It reminds me of a stink bug, the way that they kind of prop up in their legs, or like a cricket. Now join your right foot with your left. So now you're in that kind of half fold, coming to your squat. All right, nice, y'all. Roll out your right wrist, especially, maybe even give it a little bit of a stretch where you place the left hand over the right. Now remember, when you go right now into Bakasana Crow Balance, your face is up, all right? So we're not going to look down, or we might fall down, okay? So root down through your hands, claw down through your finger pads, zip your big toes together and hold it here. Pull the heels in toward the buttocks. You're looking at the very front edge of your sticky mat or beyond. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can shoot back, step back, or whatever you need, but then come all the way down and onto your belly. Interlace your fingers again behind you, but this time don't close the heels of the hands. Just feel the traction between your knuckles. So your hands are interlaced, but then you're tractioning your knuckles. You're kind of clamping them together so you can pull the wrists slightly apart. 5. Pull the nape of the neck up so you're looking downward, not in, but down. 2. 1, and release. Palms open, right cheek on the floor. Relax your head and breathe. Unravel your sacrum completely here. Let your sacrum completely unravel all the way into the glutes. Feel the nerves open up, floodgates open. And toning your nervous system, creating positive habits. And breath of life flowing through you. For those of you that joined us a little later, I was sharing that one of the peace quotes that came in today from Sherry Huber, who I follow, her daily peace quotes is from Hafez, and it's God circled this place where you are right now on the map. Okay. Now, extend your arms out to 90 degrees out by your sides. Uncork your legs. And then as you raise your legs, raise your arms and then pull your legs apart and just hold it here. Sustain. Same thing. You're not looking in and down, or not in, but you're looking down and a little outward. So since your body is in an extension, so would the head and neck like to be. It doesn't want to be down. That's going to put more weight on your spine. Instead, lift your face to where it feels comfortable. Pull your elbows up a little bit higher, your legs up a little bit higher. 3, 2, 1, and release. Hands underneath you, child's pose or down dog. You choose your motion for your potion. What is good medicine for your state, for your spirit right now? And wherever that you are, step again the same right leg forward and just turn toward me. Wide-legged stance again. That's it. Now, before you were kind of doing this motion, right? So this next one, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. You've already flipped one dog. I'm going to ask you to kind of come around and just play in your body, just like you're harvesting from the woods. I want you to just harvest from the woods and go down. But remember what I was saying earlier, we don't want to lean in into our bones and joints. We want to use our muscles. So really hug the muscles as you're moving around. Really hug the muscles as you're moving around through the air. Okay, now keep going. Good, Steve, I'm glad you just joined us again because we're really doing something I think you would find really nice on your body. We're just harvesting. We're primally moving, and it doesn't have to look like the way I demonstrated it. Maybe there are lunges. There's something that just you say, yes, this is me. I'm flowing. I'm part of nature. I'm one with all, moving through. Maybe you flip a dog. Maybe you do something fun or funky, free or hard, right? Just being in your jungle. 3 more deep breaths. Being in your jungle. Great, and then find your way back. Downward facing dog. And breathe. Shoulders are strong and broad. And now your right leg elevates. And breathing in and through your left hamstring for 3, 2, 1. Step the foot in between both hands. Come to your warrior 2 stance. Great. Interlace your fingers, the non-habitual one on top this time, and hug them. Squat down. Line up. You're using your conscious mind, your ability to see, to draw that centered quality all the way in and through you. Remember, Mula Bandha is huge for this. Bow inside of your thigh, arms over the back of your head. Really, I want you to get into this so that you can hug your quads, to move that lactic acid out. Left hand on the floor, right arm lifts for 3. Back heels off the floor too, y'all. Right arm out in front of you, gaze at the floor, but pull the nape of the neck up to the sky. So your right arm is beside your right ear, left heel is back. How long can you get from your right fingers to and through your left heel? And right hand down, right leg up, and flip it over. Remember your option to lower the knee to the ground before you flip yourself. I'm one with all. I know how to move again. And release it. Step the right foot halfway through, halfway, and you're in that funky dog, your deep hip stretch. Release the head completely. And join the left foot next to the right and squat down. So you can crow balance into a headstand. You use your time, right? This is a time for you to play and have fun. Otherwise, perhaps you want to lower your knees down onto the floor and grab your heels or the lower back and move into Ustrasana. More back bend. Wow, who knew we were going to do so much heart? I didn't, but y'all bring it every time. Breathe. Whatever you're doing. Again, you can go back up and into Bakasana, into Sirsasana, headstand, or you are in another posture, one that feels challenging but necessary to your patterns. Interrupting your patterns. If you're in Bakasana Crow Balance, then float back and find us all in a comfortable seat. From your comfortable seat, pick your non-habitual hand. So for me, that would be my left hand. And begin your alternate nostril breathing, where we fold the peace fingers, peace, into the palm, and we bring that thumb up to that same side. So if I'm working with my left, then I would use the left thumb up onto the left nostril with your opposite hand come into Gyan Mudra, index finger and thumb touching. You are one with everything. Raise the skin of the opposite nostril and breathe in. You're up high, you're not down low where it's sticky. Switch and exhale. With the thumb open here, inhale and breathe through the thumb side. Switch. If you're congested in one side, that's completely normal. Stay with it. Or with the opposite hand, go into that armpit. So for me, my left side is a little sticky. So I'm going to bring my left hand in and under my right armpit. Switch. You only switch to exhale. So that means you're exhaling and then inhaling from the same side. Crown head over tailbones. Keep the energy aligned. Nothing but good patterns, good habits have forming here. One more full round. We're flossing our brain. Cleaning out the thoughts that are just blah, blah, that cause darkness or insecurities, that make us feel defeated. So the ego, or make us feel like we're the best. The ego. And release. Both hands in Gyan Mudra. Just take a moment and breathe. We've always thought that the stoic personality was kind of hard to reach, right? Or maybe even rude, maybe a little Asperger's-ish. But what a great yogic quality to be stoic. Neither yes or no, just is. Neither high nor low, just is. And you just allow these next few breaths of pattern interruption to be stoic. And as you open your eyes, find your way onto your back. All of these great personalities of the world are what create the world, isn't it? Lower your knees to the right. And with your left hand, perch up onto your left fingertips. So I'm showing you on my right. As your knees are to the right, with your left hand, we're going to perch up on the fingertips and then just roll all the way into the right side. So your elbow's pulling in opposite direction. Your left elbow's pulling in the opposite direction. You're just getting way deep down and under the armpit. All these personalities, all these labels that we give so many individuals, without them, we wouldn't learn great qualities, qualities of what to be, what not to be. It's what makes the world turn. It's what gives us antagonistic and synergistic experiences. To work on the balance in between. And then switch. I'm taking the knees now to the other side, opposite arm. So knees to the left, right fingertips behind your shoulder, and you're just pulling the elbow back in opposition with your knees. Your head wherever it naturally wants to go. If you're moving primally through your body, then I don't even need to make the suggestion because you just naturally know what to do. And then exhale and release. And then bring your right knee into your chest. Bow into it. Lower your head and straighten your right leg. Hang out here in your hamstring for a moment. The heel is beyond your toe mound. Bow into it. Hollow out your armpits. And then slowly lower your right leg, arms over the back of your head. And then raise your right leg and bow in. Inhale, pull apart. Exhale, bow in. Inhale, pull apart. Letting the labels go, the name calling, the diagnosing. Inhale, pull apart. If we could just see our patterns for what they are and say, ooh, I want to interrupt that one. Exhale, bow in. And certainly, I just want to remind all of us, and especially me as I say this, to not judge anyone who's not doing that. Because you're on a different path. Remember, God circled this place right here for you right now. Exhale and lower your torso. Bend your right knee 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Push your right leg out as if there's a 100-pound plate in front of it. Go. Three more. And release. Release it. Roll over onto your left side. Left side, perch up onto your left forearm and grab a hold of the right leg from behind you, kick back. Those of you who are kind of super bendy in your body, you can take the top of that foot onto the floor and move into half virasana if you'd like to, just to intensify that stretch. So again, that would be top of the foot on the floor, no lateral movement in the ankle. So the foot is not facing out or too much inward. Otherwise, we're on our left side and we're kicking back. Same pose, same experience. Just those of us who have a hard time getting in and feeling a stretch because of our DNA, we need a little bit something else to bind us and release. Lower down onto your back whenever you're ready. We'll wait for you super bendy people. Left knee into the chest. Bow in. Shoulders are away from the ears. So these trap muscles are really long when you're doing this stretch. And then lower the torso and straighten the leg. Just hover in the hamstring. Heel up, toes down. Let your oxygen fill up the back of your leg. That's it. And now bow in, hollow out the armpits. You're using all rectus abdominals to do this. And then lower the left leg slow, arms over the back of the head and come back up. That left leg never really relaxes, right? Exhale, bow in, pull it apart, keep going. When your leg goes out and down, can you feel your abdomen get really long and the side body get really long? 2 more. Last one. Good, and release. Bend the left knee at 90 degrees. I like to use my hand here as a guide. Keep the foot flexed and move it out. You have a 100-pound plate in front of your foot and you're pushing it out. There's a little bit of breath of fire in there. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Let's just go on over to the right side, and you can go into half virasana, or you can grab a hold of the foot from behind and breathe. If you're holding on to the foot from behind, make sure that the nape of the neck is still pulling backward so that your body feels like it's in this half bow shape. And release. So come back up into your seated position, please. Speaking of breath of fire, we're going to move through 5 rounds of 30. 5 rounds of 30. If you're menstruating, this is not for you. You can breathe in the upper quadrants of your lungs. You can breathe in the upper half, but not down into the belly. The rest of us, we're really wanting to feel the belly expand and contract in this movement. Now, I know this seems like, wow, isn't that activating? But we're still in the morning. Right? We're still in the morning time of our practice, and this will end in a meditation for Shavasana today, okay? You can place your hand down onto the lower belly if it's been a little while, and you just kind of want to really feel this, right? This motion. And I really encourage you to get down there because you're going to hug those perineal muscles and then all of the sex organs below and above the pelvic floor. And we really want to work on that tone and then integrate the heat and passion in the belly and bring it up into your heart and head. Okay, so here we go. We'll go for the first round of 30. Inhale deeply and exhale. Inhale in. Keep just staying with Ujjayi breathing, letting your pelvic floor relax now. Anytime that we're doing a pranayama practice, we want to hug Mula Bandha. So urethra to anus, there is a hug there. We are burning right now with the exhalations, the karmas and the habits, the patterns that we would like to interrupt. So in this next one, bring one thing to your mind's eye and begin again. Take a deep inhalation and go. Inhale in. Relax the perineum completely. Round 3, becoming lighter and more literally light, light, light as in bright in your face. Round 3, here we go. Inhale in. Relax the perineal floor. Just notice. Breathe in. Round 4. Notice what it is. Maybe it's that same thing. Maybe something has shown itself. Ooh, I need burning. I need some relief. And begin. Inhale in. Really soften the perineal floor. Let the energy pulse from below to above, from above to below. No leaking anywhere. That's the purpose. One of the purposes of the bandhas is so that we don't leak energy out of the perineum whenever we're doing pranayama. That we create a seal, a container. That's what bandha really is. We call it a lock, but it's truly a seal. So I like the word hug. Sealing in your intention. Here we go, final one. Bring it into your eyes, mind's eye, and go. And inhale and hold it. Hold the breath, really let the breath move down into the lower lobes of the lungs. Hold it. And release. Relax the perineum and breathe in, breathe out. This breath can bring up a lot of angst, a lot of fire. It is, after all, the breath of fire. Raise your arms up over your head in that V shape again. Bringing that optimistic pleasure into your heart. You did this to burn up your own karmas, not to create new karmas, not to create other work to do later. So just notice, I'm in control. To your practice of interrupting patterns and making and building new habits. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you all. Oh. Maybe get a shavasana. Maybe lay down and integrate all that work. All right. I love you all. I'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so much love.
Thank you. It's so good. Thank you. Thanks for bringing it.